Hey there guys, so more on the topic of inversions and introversions, namely a move that I have been trying to learn for quite a while and have been having no success with until very, very recently, which is the legendary Lovelacing. Lovelacing is a nifty move that was invented by a gentleman by the name of Kory in Atlanta, Georgia, who is one of my favorite human beings in the world, I have to say. And I have tried many, many times to learn how to do this, even from Kory himself, and had not a whole lot of luck. But Kory San actually just posted a video on how to do this on TechPoid that just suddenly made the clouds part and the angels sang, and it all made sense. Here's how it comes together. Now, Lovelacing is kind of a derivative of this right here, which is, I believe, an inversion. I'm going to call it an inversion, and people can yell at me in the comments section. I'm okay with that. Fundamentally, an inversion is much like a hyperloop, except that instead of crossing the poi tethers, you're crossing over at about wrist or, say, forearm level when you're creating it, right? I'll show you this from the side. How you get into this is that, of course, you come at it from a place where if I'm coming in from my right side, my right hand poi is going to reach over my left arm, and I'm going to actually let the poi head kind of tug my hand through the hole that's then created between my arms. It's kind of like a little negative space frame, right? Once that happens, my right hand poi is now free, but my left hand poi is trapped in between my arms. As the left hand poi is swinging, it's going to free itself from that little hole, and the whole thing looks like that. And you can go back the other direction, of course, too, right? But a weird thing happens if you try and sustain that point at which they're crossed over each other in the middle. Namely, there gets to be a point when the poi heads run out of momentum, because if they're leading, there's really no way that the hand can give them more momentum. So there comes to be a point at which the hands catch up with the poi heads, and when that happens, either you tangle and it looks kind of ugly, or you switch over to a point in which the hands are leading the poi heads around. Now, what Kory created with Lovelacing was an approach to just make the hands lead right from the get-go, and in that way, you can keep that point sustainable. It's also really interesting because it creates an odd kind of geometry where, fundamentally speaking, there's not a degree of crossover happening like there would be in an introversion, or rather an inversion, excuse me. God, you see I'm doing it already. If I were to pull my hands apart as I enter that inversion, I wind up with a tangle, right? Whereas if I do that when I'm lovelacing, no tangle. It turns into a buzzsaw, right? I guess it's kind of a way of exiting that degree of twist in a more sophisticated manner. So how you actually get into it, and this is what's driven me crazy for a long, long time, is Kory's always referred to it as hand leading, and I never came up with a good way to think about how to get my hand in there before my poi head, but Kory's video totally made it a really, really simple idea, which is that if you take something like a linear isolation, you're fundamentally talking about a place where when you start off with, the poi head is leading the hand. That is, when I first start off, the poi head is advancing past the hand, and then once I get past this point, I'm going to pull my hand out such that poi head leads, hand leads, poi head leads, hand leads. So what Kory actually suggested doing in his video was taking this same phenomenon, and rather than having the poi head lead the way around the hand, instead you create that linear isolation before you get to the hand. Therefore, your hand is already leading when you get into that little nexus kind of point, right? Which, oh my God, that totally made it work. Well, mostly. I'm still working at the kinks on this one because, quite frankly, I just don't play around in inversion land very much. But yeah, it's totally great trick for getting this down. So I recommend you guys try this out because it does look abundantly cool. And yeah, thank you all for watching. Have a good one, and I will see you soon with more goodness. Peace.